Goddamn.
Wow. Wow.
Damn.
Wow. That was a damn good way to end the Raw after WrestleMania.
Yeah. Man, that was crazy. That was very interesting and very fucking crazy, man.
I tweeted it out as it was happening, as I was blowing up our Discord group chat with all of our buddies. And like I said, I tweeted it out as it was happening. That is how you fucking end the show. That was awesome. That is something I talked about just last week. I talked about the possibility of Seth Rollins being with Paul Heyman, but there being somebody else involved, Braun Breaker being one of the names we threw around. And tonight, holy shit, that is what happened. And that was fucking epic. The show was not perfect.
No.
The show was not perfect. There was a lot you can look at and say, huh? But,
Mm-hmm.
but, the show turned out very good. The show turned out very good. I think, for the most part, up and down. Like I said, other than a few things, they did a very good job at just giving a fresh feel to the show. Debuts, teasing, turns, all that kind of thing. I thought they did a pretty good job at it, man. And yeah, I mean, yeah, I thought they did very well. I thought they did very well for the Raw after WrestleMania. How'd you feel about everything, bro?
Overall, man, overall, I liked the stuff I liked. I really fucking liked,
Yeah.
man. I really liked the Gunther stuff. I really liked the end of the show. There was stuff that I wanted to like more, but I think we need more time to see this, and I think some things just felt kind of weird tonight with certain decisions they made. But overall, man,
Hmm.
um, I like what they did tonight. I'll say that. I like what they did tonight.
Agreed. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it was a very, very, very good episode of Monday Night Raw here tonight. I thought. Definitely a lot to get into. So, without any further ado, how's everybody doing? Welcome back to another edition of the Notorious Heels podcast. Welcome back to another edition of Unscripted, man. This is episode 244 of Unscripted. And with that, if this is your first time watching, guys, you don't know how the show works. Every Monday, we are on here after Monday Night Raw with Unscripted, and every Friday, we are on here at 3 p.m. Central with the news. As for the pay-per-views for both WWE and AEW, we are live directly after the show goes off the air. If you guys did miss any of the two WrestleMania post-show reviews we did throughout the weekend for Saturday and Sunday, both night one and night two for WrestleMania post-show reviews are up on all platforms for you guys. That is Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and if you want to see it first, join us right here. Like I said, after the show goes off the air, after the pay-per-views for AEW and WWE go off the air, for the official post-show review, man. So with that, if this is your first time watching and you guys have not got a chance to pick up some of the official NHP merchandise, you guys can now find this live on the merch shop. That is bonfire.com. Link is at the top of the description of this very video, man. And with that being said, man, well, again, this is, like I said, at the top of the description, bonfire.com. And with that being said, if this is your first time watching, guys, do not know who we are here at NHP. I am Johnny, one half of the host of this very show. And as for the other half, we got my man Sir K here. Sir K, after the weekend, tell the people what you're smiling about.
Smiling about a lot of things, man. I'm smiling about the weekend I had, man. Great fucking weekend, phenomenal weekend. Always love WrestleMania weekend. It's just a time to hang out and have fun, man. There were parts of the weekend where we were sitting there watching the show, being like, "The fuck is going on television?" But overall, man, great weekend, great stretch with you guys, man. This is unfortunately the last day of our 4-day stretch, man. And included in the fourth day, 'cause in a few minutes, we'll be talking, unfortunately, about AEW Dynamite. So, you gotta sometimes you gotta end the week off back to the normal scheduled programming, man. And that's always a bummer, man. But I'm doing great, dude. I'm doing great. It was a great weekend overall. Enjoyed the show, man. And of course, the show I always enjoy, the one with you guys, man. So excited to be here. And excited for the weekend I had, man. Unfortunately, tomorrow is really back to reality, man. Then not looking forward to that. But great weekend, man, and look forward to Backlash. And I could maybe slightly, maybe not really say double or nothing, but we'll get there when we get there, man. But I'm doing good, like Durante always asks. How's life? How's the family? Life's good. Family's good. How is everybody doing in the live chat? How's everyone doing watching the replay? What about you, man? How have you been doing?
Doing pretty good. Doing pretty good, man. Honestly, just chilling, bro. Honestly, just chilling. Yeah, just coming down from what was a very good weekend. Coming down what was a very good WrestleMania weekend, and yeah, enjoyed for the most part enjoyed WrestleMania. Um, and yeah, and everything that followed, obviously with the Monday Night Raw here tonight. Overall, always an enjoyable weekend. Hanging out with the guys, watching the show, and whatnot. So always end up being pretty solid weekends, man. But definitely enjoyed this one, and yeah. As for you guys, as Durante's ass, I'm good. Family's good. What about you, Durante? Logan, Hunter, how are you guys doing? Thank you guys for joining us as always here for Unscripted, man. But this time, we will be talking the Raw after WrestleMania 41, which seen a lot of interesting, talk-worthy things. And before we get to that,
Is this what I meant by back to reality, guys? God damn it.
yikes. AEW Dynamite. Uh, I will say AEW Dynamite Spring Breakthrough. Um, it wasn't a bad show. It actually was a rather
No.
good show. There was a couple things on there that were kind of rather uninteresting, but it actually was a very good show. It actually was a very good show. I did enjoy this episode of Dynamite. I thought they did a lot of good. I thought they did a lot of good overall, and I don't blame you, Logan, for not remembering what happened on AEW Dynamite, because we've seen a lot over the past weekend, and we've definitely seen a lot that was more interesting than what happened here at Spring Breakthrough. Even though, like I said, it ended up being a good show. Obviously, just through the weekend, more important things happen. One thing that I forgot to bring up last week on Unscripted was something that happened 2 weeks ago on Dynamite. Figured we'd mention it here. The Undisputed Kingdom have been renamed and not repackaged, I guess, just literally just renamed to a name that AEW trademarked about 3 years ago at this point. The Paragon. They have renamed themselves to the Paragon. Thoughts on this?
Um, it's not a bad name, but it's not a name I care about, I guess. And I just call them the Undisputed. I don't know if you can for whatever reason, but I feel like just the Undisputed would be fine and would get the point across. Um, Paragon, I mean, okay, can't add this in for about 3 years, like we mentioned, man. But it's whatever. They're kind of trapped on Collision anyway, so it's not like we'll really see them. for the most part, man. So it's fine, I guess, and we'll see what they do with with Cole and the rest of the group, and we'll see how all that goes, man. But they're the Paragon now, man. What do you think?
I think they should have went with the name that I picked out for them. I thought the Undisputed Has-Beens was a lot cooler. Um, but what do I know? Yeah, like I said, um, it the Undisputed Has-Beens I thought would have sufficed. But yeah, I mean it's cool. The one thing I wish would enhance with this group is their booking and how important they feel. So hopefully we can get that ramped up. But yeah, I mean the name isn't horrible, but it is worth noting on the AEW roster page for Adam Cole, Roddy, and Kyle O'Reilly. They are called Adam Cole of the Paragon, Roger Strong of the Paragon, Kyle O'Reilly of the Paragon, as Matt Taven and Mike Bennett are still Matt Taven and Mike Bennett of the Undisputed Kingdom. So I guess that's just their. I mean, I figured they weren't in the group, but I guess they're just gonna stay the Undisputed Kingdom. As yeah, I don't really know who cares too much about their side of it, but hopefully we can see the booking for the Paragon ramp up a little bit more. So yeah, I mean,
Hopefully,
at this
I
point,
doubt it though.
at this point, I feel their name was the least of their problems. It's
Hmm.
it has always started from the booking. Um, so
There were much bigger fish to fry.
for sure, but that is neither here or there. Name change isn't so bad. Wish they would have went with the Undisputed Has-Beens, but you know, it is what it is. Um, this is the longest running weekly episodic wrestling show on Time Warner. We heard that about every 5 minutes on this show. And the show opened up with Mercedes versus Athena. Mercedes versus Athena to open the show. The match starts and the crowd is applauding. Tony Schiavone says, "Fans are standing everywhere." Little did Tony
Mm.
Schiavone know, Michael Manzuri in the production truck had a out zoom on the arena as he said this, and you can literally look out and see a sea of people sitting down. There was nobody standing. I shit you not. The only people that were standing were the people that were holding the cameras. And
Like
that was about all that was standing. So LOL Tony Schiavone. What were you saying?
good old Tony Schiavone. Like the screen on the commentary desk shows exactly what we see at all
Mm-hmm.
times, so the commentators aren't thrown off. Did it? But that man is a different level of just say shit for the company. Different level of it.
He is. These two, I thought this was going to go a time limit. This was a match that consisted of somebody who is 17-0 and somebody who was 64-0 in Athena. So I figured there would be some controversy sparked here. I figured that people were going to be upset about one of these two losing, and it ended up being Athena. Because after what ended up being a very, very, very good opening match, between the two, it just, it's been said enough. It's been said enough, but Athena, when people say she is a real ass hidden gem, she is a real ass hidden gem, bro. I mean, man, I don't know how it's taken them I don't know how it's taken them this long to get her here, but thankfully she is here now. But yeah, I mean, you watch her in the ring and you just say, man, whose idea was it to keep her in Ring of Honor for the past 3 years? I mean, man.
Hmm. A really rough decision from Tony Khan with that one, but glad she's finally been on Dynamite in a big way. And what would have you? This is what you guys have been missing, man. She is insanely phenomenal, and I hope this is the just the beginning of her being on Dynamite.
So Mercedes beats her with a roll up. Athena is in the ring, and she is melting down because she just lost. And Tony Storm appears in the crowd and starts giving a round of applause for Mercedes Moné. And please, I swear to God, Tony, just have Athena cost Mercedes her, tournament final match, and end up doing this match at All In. If you have Mercedes Moné go up against Tony Storm and she takes her title as well, you are
I don't.
royally fucking up. The only way out of this, the only way to make up for you breaking Athena's win streak in this fashion is have Athena cost Mercedes her win streak. Call it even, and then have another match between the two. That's how you get around this, and then have Jamie Hayter be the one to challenge Tony Storm for the championship, because yikes. I mean, just the thought and just the vision of Tony Storm being teased against Mercedes Moné for All In thoroughly scares me.
Oh, dude, that fucking terrifies me. So I really hope they go the right direction and do, like you said, Mercedes, Athena, All In. Let Tony do her own thing. And I really hope they go that way, man, because if they have Mercedes go for the women's world title, it's just going to kill their whole division, man.
Yes, it will. The Young Bucks are trying to make peace with Adam Page. He is standing there, just essentially no-selling them. Basically just not really caring about what they have to say about Swerve Strickland. So, furthering the story of Swerve and Adam Page not really being as hateful towards Strickland as he once was.
Most definitely. Just continuing that, and hopefully we get more development soon, and hopefully they can put this in a direction that I really care about.
Hangman Adam Page defeated the wild card Josh Alexander. Well, at least it was Josh and not Jack. So
Thank God.
So we can all be thankful for that. As yes, Hangman defeated Alexander with a roll up. After the match, his semifinals opponent Kyle Fletcher came out and attacked him. Hangman then started to get the upper hand on Fletcher, which Callis would whisper something to Josh Alexander, and Josh Alexander would jump in the ring and turn heel, aligning himself with the Don Callis family. There was also something on Collision where we have more members to the Don Callis family. We have a returning Trent who didn't come alone. He made his man, Rocky Romero, turn heel after a rich story between Rocky Romero and Tomohiro Ishii. He got Rocky. I'm sorry.
Ishii.
He got Rocky to turn heel.
On the stone pitbull?
Yeah.
No, not on the stone pitbull. Man.
Oh God. Say something. I can't. Oh fuck.
Josh Alexander.
Talk about the rich story. Fuck.
Well,
Talk about.
I don't think I could talk about that, man, because I think it was pretty poor. If you ask me, the story they told. But Josh Alexander.
Who the fuck cares? Honestly, dude, I said this to you after they did turn. I'm sorry for trying to make you find words there. But I honestly think the only reason Rocky Romero and Trent are being added to the group is because they're going to be the tag team, because commentary wouldn't shut up. Tony Schiavone wouldn't shut up saying, Roppongi Vice is back! Roppongi Vice is back! So I honestly think basically what they're going to do is just replace the Murder Machines because Brian Cage is hurt with fucking Roppongi Vice.
Dude, we're gonna have to hear that fucking shit ass, garbage ass theme song, and he's gonna be a part of the Don Cat. Dude, yeah, you have Takeshita and you have fucking Kyle Fletcher, and at this point, I fucking like Kyle
Me
Fletcher,
too.
and now you're diluting this fucking group with Roppongi Vice and Josh Alexander. And listen. Josh Alexander. This is really my big first impression with him. Was not a watcher
Same.
of Josh Alexander before this, and he does. I don't dislike him, and I could say that, man, but I don't care if that makes sense, man. He to me, he screams. I'm not that uncharismatic to where I'm really bad, but I'm not really charismatic either to where you really care about me. And I'm good in the ring, but I'm not like cool and different enough that you really care. He's just a guy from the in-ring and a character aspect. I don't know if I'm gonna find myself caring about, man. So hopefully they prove me wrong with him in AEW over time. But from the big first impression I got, man, I don't think I'm gonna care about Josh Alexander all that much for a while, man. But what about you, man? What was your impression of Josh Alexander?
He came off to me as the walking bland weapon. He came out there and look, like, all I heard was, how great Josh Alexander was, but be careful because he doesn't really have much charisma. And boy, you guys were not fucking kidding. Um, he, I mean, he was good in the ring, but honestly, really nothing spectacular to the point where can care, which is honestly why a lot of people, I think, wanted him to go to NXT, because with NXT, the very first thing he would be doing 9 times out of 10 was telling a story with Ethan Page, and maybe that could have opened him up to a wider audience. But dude, just the way he walked out, it just screamed like
Just a guy.
doorknob, like just bland, like it like it just, yeah, I mean, he just kind of came off like a dude. He Tony Schiavone Tony Schiavone told me more about him in the first 5 seconds of the match, and then he told me about himself with any sort of charisma or any sort of attitude. He literally walked out there. I would have seen more charisma if a fucking mannequin walked down the fucking ramp. I mean, Tony Schiavone in the beginning of the match was telling us about why he wears his headpiece, and it's because he had cauliflower ears so bad his ear partially detached. Okay, well, okay, this tells me he's a badass, but like watching him come out, I felt no badassery. He literally walked out there. He didn't even have a badass look on his face. He literally just walked out there.
Man,
So
definitely, man. So I think you mentioned this. I don't know if it was on any show, but I remember you mentioned it.
okay.
You compare it to Speedball. You compare it to Mike Bailey, where I'm hearing the same thing that this guy's coming in. He's not that charismatic. But he's good in the ring. And usually when I hear that, I think of what I think at this point of a Josh Alexander. Guy comes in. He's a good wrestler, but nothing special enough, and he doesn't really have any vocal or body or just general charisma that speaks to you. And then Mike Bailey comes out, and I'm shocked. He's as good as he's good and as unique as they say he is in the ring. He's not bad on the mic. He has a cool identity and whatnot, and it's a guy so far I've actually been really happy with the result of Mike Bailey. And then Josh Alexander is what I expected in that first place. Man, is just a guy. He comes in and he's just a guy at the end of the day, man. And I hate to say that, and I hope over time they can show more and prove us wrong, man. But so far, it's not something I care about. And the fact that you're putting them in the Don Callis family with Roppongi Vice, a group that at this point damn near no matter who you put it in, is going to be overshadowed by Takeshita and Kyle Fletcher is all the telling to me that I'm not probably going to care about this dude much most of his AEW run.
The Don Callis family in AEW has got to have some of the most weird fucking lineups you can possibly have for a group. I don't remember this group ever having all the members in it make sense. They literally just throw a
No,
bunch of guys in the group. Remember at one point it was like Sammy Guevara and Will Hobbs were in the group, and then there was another iteration of the group with the one we just seen with like uh Takeshita and Lance Archer and Brian Cage and Fletcher. Like, what the fuck are the lineups for the?
yeah,
I think the one with Sammy and Hobbs had Takeshita in it too. Like, what is
I think
that
it did.
group? Let,
Like
let me go ahead and put Will Hobbs with Sammy Guevara and Konosuke Takeshita.
no sin, and now you put Roppongi Vice
Oh,
and Josh Alexander in there. Way to fucking bring down everybody. Even Josh Alexander now is being brought down even further by Trent Beretta and Rocky Romero. Who gives a fuck about those two in the year 2025? I never really gave a fuck about them in the first place from the start of AEW, but I digress. If I didn't care about them in 2019, what the fuck would I care about them in 2025?
okay. Apparently, according to Wikipedia, Roosh was in the group at one point. Like, what
Oh
you
yeah.
see what I mean? Like, what?
What? When the hell did that happen? Is that when?
He was in the group from July 5th, 2024 to October 8th, 2024.
Oh yeah, wasn't the rest of LFI in there too? And
Oh
that's when they
no.
did that trade.
Remember when no, remember they traded Roosh for uh Lance Archer. Remember cuz Jake the
Oh
Snake went off
yeah.
to manage the fucking group of luchadors that never amounted to anything. Yeah, so this is apparently this is the members of the group. You have
Okay.
Don Callis, Konosuke Takeshita, Kyle Fletcher.
Okay.
I had to go to Wikipedia because I can't keep track of how many times they shuffle people in and out of this. Um, okay, Callis, Takeshita, Fletcher,
Okay.
Trent Beretta, Rocky Romero. Oh my goodness, the fucking group was so fucking bad it fucking froze my broadcast partner over here.
Can you
Jesus.
guys,
Yes.
dude, why does my camera look like shit now? What the fuck what did Don Callis do? Oh, I think, is it
I
coming
was
back?
if you
I think it's coming back.
I was gonna say if you want, you could turn it off on Discord and then put it back on. Usually that fixes it, at least for me. There we
There
go.
it goes.
There we
Goddamn.
go.
Good Lord. Fucking Don Callis. Goddamn Rapungi Vice. This is
What
what they do to people.
what is that group, bro? That has got to be some of the worst lineups you can get ever for a faction.
Ever. That is fucking atrocious lineup for a goddamn faction, dude.
Oh man. Uh so Josh Alexander turns heel and he literally hit Hangman and just walked out of the ring and just walked backstage. He didn't even walk away with the Callis family, but he's been showing up with them ever since.
Uh,
Um, Josh, I understand why you probably took the money, but
yeah.
I really fucking hope, I really hope it ends up being worth it. I mean
I
that.
really hope so, man. I really hope so because, you know, feed your family. I respect that, man. But in terms of career, yeah, what did you do? What did you do?
Christian Cage, he's in the back. He tells Nick Wayne the last time they saw each other, you had a fire lit under you. And Christian says he liked it. So he got Nick Wayne a spot in the Best of Super Juniors tournament and a ROH TV title match against the dominating champion Commander.
Dominating.
Christian didn't say that. I added that in there because I'm a big Commander guy.
Oh, poor you. Fuck. That's a rough fandom. Goddamn. It's like being a fucking Finn Balor fan at this point.
At this fucking point, dude. At this fucking point, it just might be as fucking bad.
Fuck.
We seen a cameo from the Unicorn. He was in the crowd. Kristaps Porzingis of the Boston, being that they were in Boston, of the Boston Celtics. He was fucking at AEW. No, not the Bompton Celtics. The Boston Celtics.
No, my bad.
No, Bompton doesn't have a basketball team, no. But Boston does. Okay. I don't know if that would be a good market. That's
a great market, actually.
I don't know about that. So the Unicorn was in the crowd. It's cool to see him. I didn't know he was a wrestling fan unless Tony Khan paid him to go to the show, like he paid Giannis Antetokounmpo a couple of years ago.
Best fucking Tony Khan clip ever.
So yeah, got a cool cameo from him. MJF, he has another segment where he is trying to convince the Hurt Syndicate that he wants to join the group. He brings out a bunch of women to try to convince them. Yeah. I will say this story is the most comfortable I've seen MJF look in a long time.
It looks like MJF is actually intrigued and enjoying what he's doing. And I think it helps that, he does have history with MJF. Of course, I would hope. He does have history with MVP. And that's something I think can really help an MJF, program of anything. It's when he has history with someone.
Mm-hmm.
And overall, man, a lot of this, damn near every week, nothing really progresses with the story, but I'm not really tripping about it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's a nice week to week story they bring you on where MJF is just it's simple. He's just I wouldn't compare it to this level at all. But it is almost sort of what we've seen with like Sami Zayn trying to convince Roman Reigns that he's loyal to the family. And again, obviously it's nowhere as good as that, but it's the same story, right? It's a guy trying to convince the group to let him in or to be cool with him. And that's what it is. And it's a simple story to tell. And I've actually been enjoying it, and I think it is a lot of fun. I don't really want it to go the route where MJF just, gets another heel faction that's going to fail. Those are the things that kind of scare me about the story. But as for what we're seeing week to week with MJF just interacting with Shelton and Bobby while MVP's kind of trying to mediate the two parties, I think is very enjoyable. And like I said, it's enjoyable and it's nice because it's a simple story to tell and it looks like MJF is having fun. And this is what I was very scared for with Bobby Lashley coming into AEW. I didn't want them to just throw Bobby in matches because Bobby is a very good storyteller and he has very nice mic presence. And that's coming from a guy who's not even really that good of a promo, but it's just his presence on the mic. He just has He just has a dominating, just serious presence about him, and
Mhm.
he just has aura. He has a lot of fucking aura, and you have to capitalize on that. And I was very scared that they were just going to throw a guy like Bobby into a bunch of matches, but seeing him get pissed and interact with MJF has been so nice to see from Bobby's run in AEW so far, and I actually really do enjoy the story.
Most definitely, man. Most definitely. I've been enjoying what they've been doing, and dude, fucking Shelton killed me with what they did there, man. The
Oh my
part
god.
where fucking MJF was talking to him, and he fucking wasn't paying attention, and he had to fucking just shoot his face at fucking MJF because he won't do that shit. Killed me.
Um, no, for sure. I think that was the part where MVP is trying to talk
Oh,
to him, and he's like,
mm,
Shelton, and he's like,
dude,
oh, what? Uh,
that shit killed me.
so they both say that the women were not enough. So Shelton tells MJF he wants his watch. MJF says no. Then he eventually gives in. He says, "You know what, man? You want the watch? There, you can have the watch." They say that they both say they're still not convinced, and they both get out of the ring and they leave MJF there. Again, with no approval on joining the Hurt Syndicate for MJF yet. So it's simple, it's good, I like it, and it's like I said again, it's something that everybody just seems they're enjoying doing.
Exactly, man. I enjoy it so far, and I'm intrigued, but we're a little worried to see where it goes. But overall, currently, am intrigued.
Definitely. Will Ospreay defeated Takeshita in the Owen, which I believe this lands Will Ospreay in the finals for the Owen Hart Cup against the winner of Hangman and Fletcher. So that should be interesting. That should be very interesting. And he beats Takeshita with a Stormbreaker, and what ended up being, I mean, if it, well, I'll say this: if you put Takeshita and Will Ospreay in the ring and they have a bad match, we have a problem.
Yeah,
I thought this match was very good, obviously. So yeah,
obviously, man. And the Owen is going in a good direction.
for sure. The Ops. We're going in. We're going into their match 2-on-3 against the Death Riders because Hook apparently suffers a concussion. So the Death Riders come out. John Moxley's wearing a Blackpool Combat Club hoodie, and the
I miss
Ops.
them too, Mox.
Yeah, the, seriously, dude. The Ops bring out a third man, Powerhouse Will Hobbs. Uh, I mean, he's a decent sub in, I guess. He sort of, yeah. I mean, he has ties
Kind of
to the Death Riders, so not the worst sub in the world.
yeah. He has ties, and he has ties back, with Hook as a replacement. They were in Team Taz, man. So overall, I like Hobbs, and I think he fits that style of guys too. Him and Samoa Joe feels like two guys that are badass and they could get
Yeah,
along.
definitely. We get the Ops defeating the Death Riders for the World Trios Championships as Samoa Joe hits a coquina clutch on John Moxley, which led Moxley to pass out. This
Yeah.
led John Moxley to pass out, thus giving the Ops and Will Hobbs the Trios Championships as this crowd was going bonkers. The Young Bucks tried to come out and um, give the W
Help.
to the Death Riders, but
Mhm.
Swerve gave both of them a swerve stomp and threw them, over the barricade or whatever, which led Joe to being able to lock in the coquina on Jon Moxley. And when he went out, that
Huge
crowd
pop.
fucking erupted.
Pop of fucking AEW's life right now, man. Um, I'm very shocked at that decision of Mox being the one to lose the trios titles, and I'm glad that they did lose the trios titles. I think it's gonna make the Death Riders a little more bearable in a sense, and I like the ops. They're really cool. Hope Hook gets better from that concussion stuff. That sucks. Um, Overall, I enjoyed what they did in that main event, dude, and I'm very shocked but glad with the decision they made there.
For sure. For sure. And I think this proved to Tony Khan that his fan base wants to see the Death Riders be dethroned. So hopefully we only have to deal with this until July, because the way it's looking, I wouldn't even give it a guarantee that Jon Moxley defends the World Championship at Double or Nothing, because normally, they do their Anarchy in the Arena at that show, which is
Mhm.
fine at this point, because again, I would rather Jon Moxley in a
Multi-man.
in an Anarchy in the Arena match, rather than him do another basic one-on-one world title match. That's probably going to be the most fucking boring thing known to man. But the whole locker room comes out to celebrate. They're all popping bottles. They're saying it's because they defeated the Death Riders, but it was really because they beat WCW. I think we all know why they were out there popping bottles. But it was a good way to end the show. The crowd was really hot. They were quite literally going nuts for the Ops and Powerhouse Hobbs. And yeah, hopefully the pop is good in Texas as well for All In. So
I hope
um
it is.
yeah. So that
All
is
13,000.
yeah, all 13,000 of them. But yeah, so that was that. That was your episode of AEW Dynamite. Pretty good episode, very to the point, good wrestling. Nice pop at the end. And yeah, that was that.
Most definitely, man.
That was that. So, with all of that, before we move on to the one thing we have to talk about for Friday Night SmackDown, we have a word from our sponsor, the official sponsor of NHP, W Energy, man. W Energy is an energy drink loaded with vitamins and nootropics formulated to improve focus without getting the jitters. With that, W is a clean formula that is sugar-free, 0-calorie, free from fillers and artificial colorings, with 150 milligrams of caffeine per serving. You can get your W Energy products today with the link below and code NHP at checkout to save yourselves 10% on your next W purchase.
Truly, always got to shout out W, man. Whether it's work, workout, or, you know, after a great Mania weekend, you're all probably tired and we're all probably back to work tomorrow. So, if you need that energy and you want the energy to taste good, try W, man. Always got to shout out W. They'll keep you awake, they'll keep you energized, and it'll taste good all at the same time.
There you have it. And as always, thank you once again to the official sponsor of NHP, W Energy. So, like I said, man, the one thing we do have to talk about from SmackDown is, well, like I said, this was the SmackDown before WrestleMania. So really the only thing that is going to really matter carrying over into next week is we got a TLC tables, ladders, and chair match announced for next week between the Motor City Machine Guns, DIY, and the Street Profits. Man, to think you had the New Day and the War Raiders on the show that ended up being a boring as fuck match.
Mm,
To think
boring as fuck.
to think they didn't put this TLC match on there is Crazy stuff, man. Crazy stuff.
They didn't put this TLC match on WrestleMania so they could dress the War Raiders up as Clash of Clans cosplayers. Good Lord, man. I'm excited for the match on Friday, and it should have been on Mania. God, it should have been on Mania.
It absolutely should have been. Like I said, man, that tag team match that ended up being on WrestleMania was boring as a motherfucker. And again,
Mm-hmm.
like you said, we had the War Raiders out there in cardboard, kindergarten-made Viking gear. Meanwhile, you had you had three teams here that would have probably given you a more than WrestleMania worthy TLC match at the biggest show of the year. But no.
Nope.
So, yeah, that was that. And yeah, that honestly, man, that was pretty much everything for SmackDown. And now for Monday Night Raw. The Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania. Well, this episode of Raw obviously took place from T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. The show opens up with John Cena, your brand new WWE champion, the 17-time, the last real champion, John Cena. He comes out, same entrance from Vegas yesterday, with just all black Trons with just white, bold, basic font that just says John Cena. He gets announced by the ring announcer. I can't remember, Mark Nash, I think they named him. He calls him back to the ring, or he calls him up to the ring apron, and he then calls him in the ring, and he gives him a paper. Mark reads the paper off. He says, "My announcement has been deemed disrespectful. So I am here to announce the greatest of all time, gracing us with his presence in Las Vegas, the last real champion, John Cena."
Hell yeah.
It's a great introduction.
Dope as hell.
And he gets out of the ring, and John Cena grabs the mic. He says, "Being a winner is the right side of history. You," points at the audience, "are not worthy. You think on Friday you can bully me, and just because I step into a ring with gold, you think I'm supposed to forgive you? That's not a functional relationship. Just because you show up in a good mood, I can still tell you to go straight to hell. Everyone here, you owe me an apology, and you do not have the courage to do it." He says, "This has forever been the show that you guys hijack, the Raw after WrestleMania. You buy the sacred ticket so you can show up and take control. You guys have gone soft." The crowd starts chanting, "We are sorry." Cena says, I don't know if they were actually chanting "We want sorry" or "We are sorry," or if he was just spinning it. It sure sounded to me like they were saying "We are sorry."
Yeah, that's what it sounded like to me.
Cena says, in case you guys are trying to make out what they're saying "We aren't sorry." He says, "This is an arena full of sorry people. And each and every one of you are sorry. But the best part is, you don't mean anything to me." They start chanting "asshole." Cena says, "I may be an anus, but you guys are a group of idiots. You have taken your best shot at me for years, and you guys think I'm going to crack now? You are nothing to me. Your noise means nothing to me. And the only thing that means anything to any of our life is this. He points at the stage, and you see the phrase 36 dates on the stage. He says, I told you at the beginning of the year, 36 dates and I'm gone. So let's count down. He then starts counting down Los Angeles, Toronto, Brussels, London, Glasgow, Vegas, and now Vegas again. He says, and the thing clocks down to 27. He says 27 dates, not matches. You guys say I can't wrestle? I don't have to. I just have to show up and do this. So, obviously, he means talking. He says, when that hits 0, the pro wrestling timeline stops. And I'm not stupid. I know there will be another Raw and another person you will choose to be your champion. But the title that was held by Bruno Sammartino, Roman Reigns, listen to this one. The title taken from me in Chicago by CM Punk. The title held by Triple H. The title held by the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Comes home with me. I am the last real champion. And getting this was the hard part. The rest is a cakewalk. I just have to keep playing you along like puppets. The last real chance you had to save you was Cody Rhodes. He says, you booed Cody, and then you cheered him on Friday, and then you booed him again at WrestleMania, and now you're booing him again. The man we all put on our shoulders last year because he finished his story. Now you're disgusted with him? That is what is wrong with this. And that is why last night Cody was outshined, outlasted, outwrestled, and flat out destroyed. There is no one in WWE with the strength, the speed, the wisdom, and the ruthless aggression of John Cena. But unlike you, I have a heart. And I would like to do something nice for you right now. So get out your cameras and make sure to get a great picture. A great picture, because the last real champ is here. This man turns around into a RKO by Randy Orton. Bit of a okay, well, we'll get to that in a minute. Let's talk about the positives first. I like the promo. I always have liked. There hasn't been a John Cena promo I didn't like since he's turned. Honestly, not even since he's turned heel. There's probably never ever been a John Cena promo I didn't like. Maybe one back in like the, I don't know. I even love those because I was a fucking kid and I was just a John Cena mark. There's never been a fucking John Cena promo I didn't like. Okay, but since he's turned heel, I've loved all his promos, and this is another great one. Interesting line here about the title held by Bruno Sammartino, Roman Reigns, the same title CM Punk took from me in Chicago. Think he may be foreshadowing something a little bit there.
I think so. Think history may repeat itself.
I don't know when or if WWE plans for another premium live event in Chicago, but if so, I think that could end up being the spot. I think that could end up being the spot for CM Punk. So to take the championship from him, but I think that's where that goes. This promo was great. And we are getting a glimpse into what is your main event for Backlash. Now, already, I'm seeing nobody wants to see this match. This match is going to be boring. Guys, I told you last night, if you're judging this farewell tour off of banger matches, you are going to I'm telling all of you right now, and I'm going to say it all year, you are going to have a rough fucking year. And I mean, this year is going to be bad for you. Um but look, the match may end up being slower. These guys are both out of their prime. Okay, it's not 2010 anymore, but I'm excited for the story, and I'm just excited to see these two lock up again. No matter how it turns out, honestly, I when it comes to John Cena, I'm not really putting much work rate expectations into this year, so I'm excited for this match with Orton. Man, I'm excited to see these two lock up again, and I'm excited for these two lock up for what could end up being the very last time.
Exactly, man. Exactly. Which was the craziest thing to me because apart in what you say, about people are gonna have a bad summer if they're expecting, John Cena's matches to be bangers. I definitely agree with that. And I thought that was already the common, census with John Cena's last run is, matches probably aren't gonna be that great, but it's really not about the matches. It's about the matchups. The faces to face, the stories, the last opponents are and the people he's going to face for the last time. I thought that was the common consensus by the fans, and Orton was one of the biggest names people wanted to see on his retirement tour, so I don't know what the switch up with this is. But I'm excited, man. I like it. I like what they're teasing. I think it was very obvious for Backlash, and I think it's going to be very good for Backlash. I think it's going to be cool. Story's going to be great. Match, I'm not expecting some banger fest. I don't know why you would. Um, but I am excited for it nonetheless. Cody. Cena's promo was really good. I love his promos, especially, these current heel ones. I think they're really clever and really good. And that Punk line was very telling, man. It has to be CM Punk, dude. It has to be.
I think so. I think Punk is the right way to go because, again, by some point at the end of the year, that will come into fruition, and we have not seen the last of Punk and John Cena. And if we've seen any indication from what they did at Elimination Chamber, if you guys are looking for bangers, that may be one of your only chances to get it because those two were actually cooking the fuck up in that final
Hmm.
sequence to the Elimination Chamber. So again, man, for anybody that is upset about Cena and Orton main eventing Backlash, I really don't know what to tell you, and I really think you should probably turn the TV off whenever you see John Cena in 2025 if you are expecting a banger, because it's just I wouldn't bank on it. Okay, again, I said it
No.
yesterday. That's why there's a farewell tour, because he knows he's getting to that age where he can't really go anymore. So he's deciding to hang it up and do something else with his time. So, but hey, at least John Cena showed up for 36 dates as opposed to the 2 dates we got from the guy that he was supposed to be aligned with. You know, it makes a lot of sense. It makes like in hindsight, I was thinking about this last night. It makes
Hmm.
a lot of sense why Triple H told us, you know, I wish people could just watch as a fan and not sit there and think about what they like and what they didn't like. It's because this motherfucker knew Rock
Oh yeah.
was not showing up at this show, and he knew there was going
People
to
aren't
be
gonna like it.
backlash.
Exactly.
And but like Sir K said yesterday on the Mania review, they'll sit there and they'll say, just enjoy the ride the Rock's taking you on. And when he comes back, he's going to say he had this all planned out the whole time. And this was the plan and blah, 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 blah. And they're going to sit there and tell you, it's your fault because you expected it. No, it would have been our fault if John Cena turned heel, wasn't aligned with The Rock, and we were all sitting there like, The Rock is going to reveal himself to be aligned with John Cena. If John Cena made no hints at The Rock, then it would have been our fault. You quite literally had The Rock call the shot for John Cena to turn heel, and he did not show up.
And he literally didn't show up to the
He
fucking show that you moved for him.
he quite the more and more it looks, he quite literally showed up last year because he got a chunk of money to do it from joining the TKO board. That quite literally is probably the only fucking reason why he showed up last year, is because of that. Because like we were talking about on the post yesterday, but he showed up night after WrestleMania last year, told Cody he wasn't done with him, told Cody, I'm coming back for you, and if you have the title, then I'm coming for the title too. Comes back, and he's involved somewhat in like the whole tribal combat thing. Everybody thought he was going to turn on Roman, but then he was just cool with him. And then he was dapping up with Cody, was his friend. You know, then he wanted Cody's soul. Then he turned on Cody again, doesn't show up. What are you doing, dude? Stop just doing shit. Stick,
Yeah.
I kept reiterating last night. Commit to something. Commit to something. Are you in the Cody story? Are you in the Cena story? Are you in the Bloodline story? What are you doing? Do you want the WWE title? What are you doing? What? It's fucking up the process, man. It really is. But he'll come back and people will love it, and he'll say, you know, and he'll say this was all a part of the plan, and he's always 150,000 steps ahead of us, and we should enjoy the ride he's taking us on, even though the ride he's taking us on, we get the little thing to come over us and clamp right in front of our stomach, and we're sitting there and we're waiting for the fucking roller coaster to take off, and it just never fucking takes off. And then after 2 hours of fucking sitting there with your fucking seatbelt locked on, you can't move, they say, oh, the ride's down for the day. And then we all fucking get off and go home with nothing. So, biggest fucking show of the year. Couldn't make
Won't
time.
show up.
You're not just a celebrity anymore, bro. Okay, you want to be a part of the board of directors, you want to be involved, then fucking be involved.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, just had to get that off my chest again. However, Randy Orton and John Cena, it's going to be great. I'm excited for it. I'm excited for the story that they tell with Randy now being the baby face and Cena being the heel.
I like it.
I think that's going to be very cool. The only thing that I may have misconceded here was,
Okay.
didn't Cena say when he won the title he was gonna dip?
Yeah. Now he basically turned it into, well, I'm champ now. I got all these dates. Once I'm finished, I'm leaving. It's
Yeah,
like, and even the way he was talking about the title, he was talking about like, yeah, there's probably going to be another champ after me, but you know, he ain't going to be me. So it seems like they're dropping an element of that whole thing they were melding.
Yeah, so I was wondering why have him say that if you are going, if you were going in the direction of, if you were going in the direction, like I said, of having him stick around. Yeah,
I don't
I
know,
mean
man.
that was a bit of a logic gap I caught there, as it turned into, now that I have the title, 27 dates is all I got left and I'm out, which again, before Mania, he literally said, I'm taking your title and I'm leaving. All
Oh,
he quite literally said, after I win this title, there's nothing else for me to do and I'm leaving.
like maybe they could try to say that and like, you know, Maybe you could be like, want to do that, but Randy got in the way, and I got to. Even then, it's like, by that logic, why don't you just leave anyway? I don't know why they would say that if they're not gonna keep up with that.
I don't know, but other than that plot hole in there, it was a good promo. It was a good promo. I liked it, and obviously we're going towards Cena Randy at Backlash, um, so yeah. I mean, I thought it was good, man, and yeah. So that was that. That was the opening segment to Monday Night Raw. Anything else you wanted to add?
No, I'm excited to see how it goes, and I wonder if they're gonna, bring that element back up of, him leaving with the title, or if that's what they transitioned all this, date stuff into.
Yeah. So the next match on the show was for the Women's Tag Team Championships. We have Liv and Raquel versus Lyra Two Belts and Becky.
Well,
Uh Liv Morgan hits Oblivion on the Women's Intercontinental Champion Lyra Valkyria and wins back the women's tag titles. See, I don't know why we couldn't have. I don't know why we couldn't have just
like
had
this at
Becky and Lyra
Mania?
lose. And yeah, I don't know why we couldn't have had Lyra and Becky lose and then do the Becky turn at Mania. Or I don't know why. Hey,
And wouldn't the turn make more sense if Becky was the one that took the pin? Or if, maybe Lyra was trying to do something, Becky got distracted or something, and then, like, what? I don't know, man. I don't know.
that part to me made a little sense because the way I took it was Becky attacked Bayley to get her moment, but because of Lyra's distraction, Becky lost her moment in the spotlight, so she turned on Lyra. That was how I took it, which made
Mm.
sense, but I feel it would have came off maybe a little better if you did it at WrestleMania. And then even with all of that, the turn came off fucking awful.
It uh, trip it trips me up because one part of me is glad we got it now and we didn't have to wait fucking two pay-per-views later to get the turn and then two pay-per-views later to get the match. Um, but like that literally just felt like you just ran through just up return up turn on her up match. I, can Triple H not find an in between of taking forever in a story and just getting through the motions with one? Does he not know an in between is the best option there? This felt like it was just yep, the turn time. Let's do the turn. It didn't come off as a moment, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I don't know, man. To me, it came off pretty just awkward, man. And like, you know, they again they had Becky and Lyra win the titles yesterday. They lost them today. At this point, why the hell didn't you just do a Becky and Lyra match at Mania? Like everybody thought you were gonna do, or why didn't you have Becky turn at Mania? I think that would have been
Yeah.
decent. I think that would have, got a decent reaction from the crowd and like have her beat the shit out of Lyra. See here, what we got, Becky clotheslines Lyra Valkyria and then just starts yelling at her. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, are you gonna hit her? Are you? And Lyra at this point isn't even like incapacitated. She's literally just looking up at Becky Lynch, just like a scary ass. She's just sitting there, just looking up at her. And then Becky gets out of the ring, comes back, beats her up a little more, and Lyra still is just leaning on the ropes looking at her like, dude, get up and punch her in her fucking mouth. What the fuck? And Lyra's just laying there, and Becky leaves again, gets back in the ring, gives her fucking 3 rock bottoms and dips. And I'm just sitting there like, that fucking came off horrible. That was
Right.
shit. Why didn't, if you're gonna turn, then beat the shit out of her. What?
I don't know if Triple H just watched, the Mox Brian Danielson turn because, that's kind of how they did it then, and that's they were able to make that type of turn work where they didn't really they when it first happened, Brian didn't really, sell the movie, was more just shocked that it happened. Then they beat his ass. And that moment was really cool. But here it was just awkward. It was just a bunch of incoherent yelling and then just Lyra looking scared. Like why didn't you just do either, the Becky and Lyra match at Mania, or you could have gave Lyra a different opponent. Maybe Becky helps her win in her match and then, does the turn something, dude, something. I don't know why we're getting this the way we're getting this. It really feels like you're just like that you don't care about it. It's just, oh, people kind of want this. The women kind of want this, so we'll do it, but we'll do it when we can fit it in. Bro, what?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah, I mean the creative, the creative for this to me, um, didn't even really come off as bad as just the turn itself. Because again, man, I mean, it just looked so, it just looks so, and like you mentioned with Brian, but like at least with the Brian turn,
Mhm.
he had a couple seconds to sit there and look shocked before they threw a bag over his head and started suffocating him. There was about 3 separate pauses where where Lyra was just sitting there, just stunned against the ropes, just staring at Becky, just scared, or looking scared. It's just like,
It's
dude,
like,
if you hit me the first time, I'll give it to you. Maybe you're shocked. Then she walks out of the ring, comes back, starts hitting you again, walks out of the ring, comes back and does it again. At what point do you say, I'm going to get up and kick your ass?
yeah,
And it never happened.
like either just have her beat the shit out of her to where she can't fight back, or she realizes what happens and then fights back or something. You're just having her. It was this a Jey Uso heel turn of just stop and start pauses in the middle of what he's doing. It's like, what was why? Who booked that segment itself, dude? It was sloppy as hell.
Uh, I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah, like I said, to me, the reason for the turn itself, I can understand it. I can understand, Becky wanted to come back for her WrestleMania moment. She got a WrestleMania moment, and one night later, Lyra, somebody who is supposed to be her protege, pisses it all away, because she was distracted. I can get that. I can get that, and I can get behind that. But man, you got to execute on those turns, bro, because that came off so bad. That came off fucking
Yeah,
horrible. 90% of the time, 90% of the turn angle, Lyra is looking up at her, just scared. Dude, I don't know. But that was that. Becky turns on Lyra Valkyria, and I'm assuming we will be getting this match at probably Backlash. Why we didn't just get this at WrestleMania,
beyond me.
I don't know. All you had to do was have, after the Royal Rumble, have Bayley and Lyra start becoming friends, then have Bayley get attacked by somebody, and have it be Becky because she was jealous. And then you build to a match between Becky and Lyra, and have Becky be jealous because Lyra not only has a championship, but she's finding a new mentor. Simple.
Could have just done that.
But here we are with this scary ass Lyra heel turn. Or Becky heel turn on Lyra. So, I don't know. Seems like we'll be getting the match at Backlash rather than WrestleMania. So, there you go. The New Day. The New Day come out, and Kofi says they are the new WWE World Tag Team Champions. Xavier says, so get down on your knees before us. Whoa.
Oh.
And scream out, thank God for the New Day. Thank God for the New Day what? Thank God for the New Day that they did, the same New Day that they dropped the ball with? What exactly are we thanking God for here?
Literally.
Thank God that the New Day turned heel and they didn't do shit with them after that? Wouldn't. Okay. So, Kofi says there is no tag team alive that is better than your boys, the New Day. I don't know what you thought was going to happen here, but
I could tell you, I thought, a new tag team was about
oh,
to come out. I thought, Fraxium, they just lost the
oh,
NXT tag team titles. I'm thinking, oh, is this, look at that. Are they about to put Fraxium up on the main roster, up on this show?
no.
And, no, that isn't what we get. Want to tell them whose music hit?
Yeah, similar to you. I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh, dude, here we go. We're going to see Fraxium. Fraxium's coming to the main roster. And Alpha Academy comes out. Alpha fucking Academy. And then Maxine says, you guys may say you're the best, but the last time you guys faced us in 60 seconds, we beat you. So we think you should put those shiny titles on the line right here, right now. The New Day say no. So Maxine says, are the Minutemen scared? Kofi says, no, we're not scared. As a matter of fact, get us a referee out here right now. So yeah, that's one thing that that's one thing that I was wondering too. Are we ever going to hear about the draft? Are they doing a draft this year? What
What
exactly what's going on there?
can Triple H ever give us any information about what's going on about anything? I get, you want certain things to be a mystery, but why is draft and roster placement a mystery we have to wait for to get announced? Like, holy hell, can you tell us something?
So the New Day and the Alpha Academy are standing in the ring, and the lights go out. And there's a spotlight on the New Day. And we start to hear this music playing. And I was like, oh, okay, is this Fraxium's music? Because I don't know what their music sounds like. I've never listened to their theme song, and I'm like listening to this music, and the Trons come on, and they say Rusev. What the fuck was that
What?
theme song? Dude. Oh my god. That
You
was bad.
you had one. You had one that was well, it was fine. It was good. It was cool actually. People actually liked that
Oh,
one.
his theme song was
And you
fire.
just Like, and you just don't use it for whatever CFO or Def Rebel money
Oh,
cut reason. Good Lord.
that was really bad, man. That was fucking bad. That song, holy shit. That theme song sucked, man. Yeah, that was yikes, that was rough. That was rough. Rusev comes out, the New Day run away, and he beats the shit out of Otis and Akira Tozawa. He beats the holy shit out of them, putting in the accolade on Otis on his return night. So Rusev is back in WWE. He looks like a beast. He had a decent showing in his attack here. My only question is, man, the theme song, what the hell are we doing there? Um, and
That's far from my only question.
yeah, and I mean, well, it's not my only question. My other question is, he attacks Alpha Academy. He comes out here during a tag segment. Why? I mean,
You do that, and dead ass when Rusev was standing on that fucking stage, a part of me thought we were about to get aid in English because I see tag teams in front of me.
mhm.
I see Rusev return, so I think, oh, only logical solution. They also brought back aid in English, and they didn't, which I am happy about. I'm glad they're not doing Rusev Day, but it's what you got me thinking with having him show up and beat up a bunch of tag teams. Wh- Where's the direction? Usually, with a debut of somebody, you debut them by, asserting a direction they're going to go in their return. And that was not seen here. Like Triple H does, like I just joked about, everything has to be a mystery. The mystery of who's assigned to whose brand, this and that. Now we have no clue what Rusev's gonna do. We know he's back, and that's really dope. And I like his attitude. I'm glad he does seem like he is that like angry Miro vibe, which I actually am really happy about. Um, but we have no fucking clue what direction he's going in. So, like Triple H, we'll have to wait to find out.
Yeah, I mean, what in the world? I mean, what in the world was the point of putting him in this segment, man? Like I said, he looked like a beast, but I'm sitting there thinking he's coming out in a tag team segment. Are they gonna put him? Are we about to fucking see Jeff Cobb walk out here or some shit? Like,
Yeah.
is he gonna be with one of these guys? Because like, okay, another thing I also like you mentioned, no Rusev Day, not even like the
Mm-hmm.
same gear. It was the trunks that we seen him, or the like boxing shorts that we seen him wear in AEW. So I'm like, okay, I like this vibe. He obviously looks like a fucking monster, but like again, that I just truly thought they would trot out Fraxium here. And we brought out Rusev to beat up. I mean, ultimately, it's Alpha Academy, so who gives a shit? But why was this the segment we
Yeah.
brought him out in?
How is he beating them up and not, a person in a single setting that can, set up high direction, man? So it still has me thinking, is there going to be some tag team element to his return? I mean, I did notice when that debut happened, Bronson Reed tweeted out interesting. Is that for a match? Is that for a team? Maybe I wouldn't doubt it, but what is the direction for Rusev? Usually, a debut gives you some sense of a general direction for somebody, and this has given none.
No, no, none whatsoever, man. So, yeah, I mean, yeah. So those are my only questions really about Rusev and what exactly was the direction here for him, but he did look good. He looked
Okay.
rejuvenated. He looked happy to be back. He looked ripped, and he had a good showing. Like I said, it's just it's just interesting to me why he was brought back in this segment. And do not tell me you're going to put Fraxium on SmackDown, because for the love of God, can we please show Raw some love in the tag team division? SmackDown, their division is completely uninspired, and they have a lot of good tag teams. Raw has War Raiders and the New Day, and both are booked very controversially. I think Raw could use the love of Fraxium a hell of a lot more than SmackDown does, because what are you going to do on SmackDown? Flip-flop the title to every fucking team like you have already done, and then have nowhere to go with anybody after that?
Literally, like, who even wins that TLC match, and then what do they do besides face the other one of those two teams? Anyway, it's like, why would you not insert Praxium into the Raw Tag Team division here, man? I don't understand that.
I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea. But yeah, so happy to see Rusev back, just questioning choice of theme song and questioning choice of segment to bring him back in.
Most definitely.
Finn Balor. Finn Balor.
Finn Balor.
We'll get to him at
Dolph
the end of the
Ziggler.
night.
I mean, Finn Balor.
Yeah. He goes up to Dominic, and he seems very pissed. Dominic says, "Are we all right, man?" Finn says, "What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. And a win for one is a win for all. And that's why I'll be in your corner tonight." So right here, I'm like, oh, okay.
Here it goes.
He's beating the shit out of him after this match, for sure. Because I didn't see Dominic losing this match, so my mind instantly went to, okay, he's whooping his ass after the match, for sure. For sure. Dominic is going to think, maybe Finn just trying to cheat him out of the match. So at the end of the match, all the Judgment Day guys are going to be in there, and they're all going to beat the shit out of Finn. Okay. All right. So I'm fine. So, moving on with the show. WWE announced, got the picture here for you guys. WWE has announced tonight on the Raw After Mania that Survivor Series will be going to San Diego, California, which has been rumored for a number of weeks. We were discussing this on news a couple weeks ago. And it will be in San Diego on Saturday, November 29th. So it does say Survivor Series San Diego. It doesn't say Survivor Series War Games, but it does have the cage behind it, so in the logo as normal. So I would assume this means War Games again. Usually that's a staple WWE does every year. So yeah, Survivor Series going to San Diego. It's a cool logo. I'm interested to see what they do for the show. We'll be going to Petco Park if you're in the area. So yeah, they announced this tonight and should be pretty interesting, man.
Should be. Didn't they do that in 2024? They didn't add the war games in there until, the match, or like just a few like weeks or like a month or two before. I thought they did that in 2024.
They might have.
I thought they did that same system where they didn't really put it in the name until, the match was officially, involved in the show, which I still think it will be.
For sure.
And I like it. I like it. It's very West Coast year for WWE pay-per-views, man. And you know what? I do like it, man. If they're not going into, these European shows, I like the cities like LA, like San Diego. Like they're good cities, man, and I like that choice.
Yeah, so that is what they announced tonight. For sure. For sure. Yeah, they
It'll definitely be War Games, I feel
Yeah.
like, this year, especially with all, like, the shit tonight. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more faction stuff to do this year for War Games.
Oh yeah. Think we've seen a glimpse of probably who will be in that War Games match. So, Io Sky is out here for a promo. She says last night was the best night of her career. She is over the moon because she beat the best there is. That means she is the best. She says Rhea Ripley and Bianca tried to forget her, and now all of us will never forget her. She says she is the genius of the Sky. She is Io Sky, the women's world champion. We then hear the music of Stephanie Vaquer.
Fucking Michael Cole.
Yeah. Stephanie
Back
Vaquer.
here.
Vic Joseph says it the same way. And it God, if there's one thing about Excalibur, at least he says Stephanie Vaquer.
At least, if as long as he doesn't, fuck up the actual whole name itself. Usually, Excalibur pronounces a name right. That's if he gets it right. But when he gets it right, he does pronounce it right. I'll give him that.
Yeah, that's true. Unless
Or
he's saying
when
unbelievable.
or Stephanie Backer or whatever fuck up he might say.
The leader of the Hurt Syndicate, MJF. Kyle O'Fletcher.
Yeah, my Malachi Back gotta be my favorite one ever, dude. Goated moment.
Man. Malachi Back takes the cake for Excalibur. That is just the greatest fucking thing I've ever heard, man. Swing and a miss by Malachi Back.
So casual, so fucking smooth with the fuck up, dude. Goated forever.
Malachi Back. So Stephanie comes out. She says to Io, "Congratulations." She said she would like to introduce herself. She is La Primera, the NXT Women's Champion, Stephanie Vaquer. She wanted to come out here and show respect. She said she says Io is amazing, and she came out here to show respect. And she says Io is the best, but I want to fight the best. Io says, if you want to face me, I accept. What about right here, right now? Stephanie accepts. Oh my God, bro. I'd seen the image of that.
I saw that.
The Rock had finally The Rock has come back to Vegas shirt at WWE World. Funny as shit, man. Get out of here, bro. I seen
I want to know how many people bought that, wore that shit Sunday, waiting for the moment, and it never fucking happened, dude. I swear to God.
Rainmaker says apparently The Rock will be on Pat McAfee's show tomorrow, probably following all the backlash. I could tell you exactly what's going to happen. The Rock is going to go there. He's going to say he's 20 steps ahead of everybody, and everybody's being impatient or whatever he's going to fucking say. And we need to enjoy the ride he's taking us on. And
we don't know what's going on. Would this be it's going to be fucking a bunch of word vomit.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's going to be. It's bro, you didn't show up for the main event of WrestleMania. You put yourself in John Cena's heel turn storyline to have your fucking friend Travis Scott help John Cena win his 17th world title. John Cena celebrated his 17th world championship with Travis fucking Scott.
What the fuck, man?
You know how annoyed I got reading the notes I had for that match because I just kept reading off Travis Scott, and in the middle of reading it, I'm sitting there like, why is this a thing? Why am I reading Travis Scott being involved in not only the main event of WrestleMania, but Cena's 17th title win? What is that? So, anyways, Io and Stephanie Vaquer, listen, last year on the Raw after WrestleMania, we seen the NXT champion Ilya Dragunov, and we seen Dragunov get a match against Wash Demora.
Mhm.
And later on in the draft, he was called up. So is this a foreshadowing? Are they gonna call Vacker up with the NXT Women's Championship?
I wouldn't be shocked, man. I wouldn't be shocked. They have a lot of women down there, a lot, and most of them are very good, man, and very good, and a lot of them aren't as developed as someone like Stephanie Becker. So maybe they have the mentality, well, we think Stephanie's ready, and we think some of these women are good, but they're not ready yet. So we might want to focus with them, and I think that's a very smart thing to do, and I hope that's the direction here, man.
These motherfuckers got me and Sir K going back and peeking at an NXT show in 2025.
That's how good the women of NXT are, man. That shit was insane, dude. Also, the main event was really good, man.
Oh, it was
Dark
awesome.
State is dog shit. I'll have to give you that. But the women are fucking incredible, man. The
Yeah.
women from the and they have a mid card women's division, and they seem to be doing it pretty well, man.
Oh, they
So
do it great.
I don't know what the beef is with fucking Triple H, but very very great with the Stephanie Becker. Very awesome surprise there, man. That's literally like a that is a WrestleMania fucking match right there that they just gave us on TV.
It is.
And if that's what they're just giving us on TV, I'm very intrigued to see what they give us when she's on the main roster officially.
And let me tell you, man, when you were watching NXT Takeover or NXT Stand and Deliver, dude, um, Sol Ruka,
Dude,
holy
she is
shit.
insane. She is fucking insane. Dude, the shit she was doing, I've never seen someone lean back, grab a ladder, and fucking pull up themselves up on the other side of the ladder. Insane. God
Those
damn, she's
the
crazy.
the Soul Snatcher off the ladder right into the double Soul Snatcher towards the end of that. I'm sitting there
Right?
thinking like, bro, she is just tweaking, bro.
She
Um,
did that in the corner, and she isn't a short person. She's a pretty tall, kind of lanky person. To be able to just do like a flip just off standing like that is insane.
yeah. Yeah, it really is, man. She's really fucking good. And then obviously, you know, they got a lot of they got a lot of really great names down there, man. With Vacker being at the head of it all, Jordan Grace, Julia, Roxanne Perez, Jada Parker, Sol Ruka Zaria, Lola Vice. They're all really good, man. They're all really really good, and I'm interested to see what they all end up doing. But
Cynthia
Vacker,
Hall.
uh, Thea Hall, she she's pretty good as well, man. She's pretty good. I don't know what her whole gimmick is. She's
Kind of just
she was
energetic.
yeah, she's very energetic, and she just kept screaming she's a grown ass woman. I don't know. The
I like
last time I seen Thea Hale, she was in Chase
Hall.
U. So I this kind of I don't know. That kind of caught me off guard, but I don't know. I don't keep up with NXT that much, but man, what I did see, it was pretty good. And then obviously, yeah, I thought their main event was really good. Trick is getting better. Oba Femi's really fucking good, and Javon Evans is really, really, really good. From the last time I've seen him, he's improved a lot since like
Definitely.
a lot since the last time I've seen him. The first time I've seen Javon, he was pretty rather sloppy. He's still a little sloppy. I think he moves a little too fast. He
Hmm.
definitely needs to polish himself, but him on the mic, when I first heard him on the mic, I swear to you, he sounded like a fucking, he sounded like a 12-year-old, trying to attempt to cut a promo. He's gotten significantly better on the mic since the last time I've heard him.
Most definitely, man. He's really improved. I'm really glad he chose NXT, man. And look what happens when you choose NXT, man. You develop and you become better and better by the month, dude.
Yeah, for sure. Um, Tony D'Angelo. I don't think WWE's ever. We were talking about this dude. I don't think they're ever going to call him up, to be honest.
I don't think they will. I don't think they. I think they see him as with a with a really low ceiling. I mean, and I don't think he makes it out of NXT.
Yeah, unless they do some like ridiculously crazy push for him, to make me believe it. Man, I don't know. I don't know. He just gives me NXT lifer vibes.
Yeah,
I don't see them. I don't know. Just something about him, man. Something about him, and I really like him. I think he's really good. I just think there's a lot of things holding him back. I think WWE may look at him as too much of a gimmick, and also if WWE failed Legado del Fantasma as hard as they did, then expect the same thing if the D'Angelo family ever. Well, now they're not whole, but yeah, I mean, so that's the beginning of the end right there. But nah, man, I mean, crazy that in this year we are taking a look at NXT shows. Crazy
I
stuff.
know, crazy dude, and I overall like the overall what they put on, man. I don't think I'm gonna be a weekly viewer anytime
No,
soon, man. But I like popping in to see the people I like.
definitely, definitely. So Io and Stephanie put on a very, very, very good match. Um, they put on a very, very, very good match, man. Like Sir K said, this is WrestleMania possible type match stuff here. Um, and in the middle of it, Roxanne comes out and attacks Io Sky. Apparently, she has an NXT Women's Title match tomorrow. I don't know why, unless we're putting her on SmackDown. Um,
Hunter, I love you, dog. Well, we're not reviewing NXT.
no,
We
there,
need to, it's
the
already enough plate, and I don't think NXT is really something I really want to add to that plate.
it's I don't
It's
I
not reviewable.
yeah, it's very the show is the show is based their target audience. I feel that they run a lot of storylines that I think is targeted towards like teenagers. Um
Yeah,
the show overall on a week to week, if there's ever something big enough that happens on NXT, then we do talk about it, but in terms of reviewing the show top to bottom, not that good.
that,
um
no, and it's not really nothing of value overall. And I think it's more of just looking at people who are coming up, man. Like you said, it's a very like 14 to 19 demographic for that show, and they definitely hit that demographic, I think so, but like it's
mhm.
not just something I care to watch and talk about every week.
Yeah, NXT, like Sir K said, NXT is a product for me where I will tap in to
Hmm.
check on the people that I like, and that's my use for
That's
NXT.
why,
You know what I
yeah,
mean? I'll tap in for an Obafemi. I'll tap in to see what like Vacker is doing, or to see how, what like just how Ricky Starks or Sean Spears or just like what people are doing on the random, and then I check right out. But in terms of a week to week viewer,
can't do it.
nah. Yeah, it's
No,
the show. I see a lot. I see a lot on that show that I think is just targeted for a way different audience, which is fine because
wait,
that's their
which is
target
good,
audience and they hit it. But I am not that
definitely.
target audience.
I'm not. I don't care about the drama of a Cora Jade and her boyfriend. I really don't.
Well, hopefully that never makes its way to NXT television.
I wouldn't
um,
be shocked.
me neither at this juncture. Roxanne attacks Stephanie Vacker because, like I said, she does have a women's championship match tomorrow against Vacker, and then Julia comes out and she hits Stephanie Vacker, and I wasn't sure if we were seeing like Roxanne come in because it was a tie-in to, their title match, or I wasn't sure if we were seeing like a new faction here with Julia and Roxanne. So when Rhea came out, I was like, "Oh, are they going to put Rhea, Julia and Roxanne together?" Because it looked like they were a tag
Hey,
team. But then like
yeah,
but 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 I don't remember Julia turning heel, but then again, I'm not like
she
an
did.
avid watcher of NXT. Oh, she
I
did?
know she did when she returned. She attacked Stephanie when she returned. I do remember seeing that and like seeing that she did that. So I think it's already been established that she's
Okay.
been beefing with Stephanie. I think because she came back, turned on her, and said like she's coming back for what she didn't lose or something, whatever, something like that.
Got it.
Um, and I don't really understand. Like you said, I thought when Roxanne come in and the way they were looking at each other, I was like, are they a team now? I was kind of confused on that part, definitely.
Yeah, so I wasn't sure again, I wasn't sure, especially because, thank you for telling me that because I did not know that Julia even turned heel. So I'm sitting there like, okay, is this like a new faction? And then Rhea comes out, and I'm like, oh, are they gonna swerve us and put all three of them together? I'm like, okay, kind of a weird group, but all
Okay.
right. I mean, let's see what they do with this. And then Rhea came out, attacked both of them, and both of them retreated. And then her and Io had a stare down. She told Io, "I'm coming for your belt." So, um, I hope this is. I don't even know. I don't even know why Roxanne. I don't even know why she's doing another match in NXT. This should have been the call up. I don't know what is going on here. But
I don't know if it was a heel turn, but I know when she came back, she attacked Stephanie and was like, "Yeah, I'm coming back for what I." So I didn't know if it was a heel turn or if it was just a turn on her. I don't know. I really don't. I know that happened. That's all I know.
gotcha, gotcha. Um, yes, Julia did turn heel on the April 8th episode of NXT. Uh,
Okay.
yeah, and she attacked longtime friend Stephanie Vacker. Yes, okay. Yeah, okay. But yeah, so I don't know. This kind of came off a little odd just because it seemed like a big promotion for NXT rather than like seeing some of these women get called up. So again, I don't really know what was. Again, this should have been the call up for Roxanne, but all they could seem to tell us was she's going to be in NXT for an NXT title match tomorrow night. Which I don't know why her final NXT match wasn't on Stand and Deliver, but okay.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, it kind of came off confusing because I'm like, is this a group? Are they a tag team? Is this like three solo call ups? Like what the fuck is going on? But we ended up just getting a Rhea and Io stare down with the championship. So I would maybe assume that match is going to take place at Backlash with Bianca Belair headed back over to SmackDown. As for the match, I thought the match was great. And, it was nice cameos. I just wish it would have been made a little more evident what exactly was going on here.
Most definitely.
So, yeah. And the next segment was Jay Uso. We get a video package for Jay Uso. He then made his long awaited, since February 1st, championship entrance, where he's yeeting. He gets in the ring, the music stops, and Jay is clearly just waiting for the crowd to chant one more time, as I think they took a little longer than was expected.
Mm-hmm.
And they finally chanted one more time, so he did the run it back, and they ran it back. They stood on the top rope and they yeeted, and Jay says, he's here now. Yeet. He's been wanted it. Yeet. Since he was a kid. Yeet. He's here now. Yeet. Thankfully, that was where that ended, because I thought that's what the whole promo was going to be. And I was like,
Dude,
oh, brother.
this is our whole
This is our
summer,
summer.
man.
Yeah, we tried to tell him.
We tried
Nobody
to
wanted to
tell you.
listen.
Maybe, someone comes by and, destroys Jey Uso and takes that title. They are, talk about it later, like I said earlier, but, they are setting some stuff up, so maybe we have a solace in all this, but I think for the most part, this is going to be our summer.
Yes, it is. He says, it was a long, hard road. He gave it all he had to beat Gunther, and he made him tap.
Please don't remind me.
Nah, I'm sorry.
Oh, we couldn't have just glossed over that part. Just, I'm usually not in the business of, not mentioning things or forgetting it. Can we forget about that specifically, that element specifically? I want to.
He says he finally has this on his shoulder, and he is going to show up every week and give it all he has. And if you're excited to have me as world champ, let me hear you say yeet. The crowd says yeet. Sami Zayn's music hits. WWE.
I was so scared.
I swear to God.
Oh, I think everyone was so scared in this moment of them making a really bad decision.
Oh my God. You guys were going to see my face get as red as this fucking hoodie I'm wearing, bro. I was going to blow a fucking gasket if Sami Zayn turned fucking heel here tonight.
In the moment, dude, I was thinking, dude, KO's out for like God knows how long. Dude, I was so scared, dude. I was so fucking scared. So glad they didn't do that.
Sami comes out and he hugs Jey. He says he's got so much to say, he doesn't even know where to begin. He says not being here these weeks and watching you go through everything you went through with Gunther was hard on me. He says missing WrestleMania this year was hard on me. He says you and I are very alike. We do not do well sitting on the sidelines. And if I'm being honest, I almost didn't come to Las Vegas at all. But I had to come, and I had to make sure that I was the first one to stand in this ring across from you, look you in the eyes, and tell you how proud I am of you. You're my brother. You're my dog. You're my oos. I love you. I'm proud of you. And you deserve that. He points at the world title. He says it's the right good Lord. My bad. He says you deserve that. He says now enough of the sentimental stuff. This is your WrestleMania celebration, and hit this man's music. Him and Sami get on the top rope. And they are yeeting. Sami gets down, and he's standing in the middle of the ring looking at Jey, and you start to hear the crowd ooh and ah. And I'm just sitting there, and I'm just, my blood is just starting to boil. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, Triple H, do not have fucking Sami Zayn turn on Jey Uso, the most wholesome story out of the bloodline, and have Sami Zayn be Jey's first feud for the World Heavyweight Championship. And I thought they were going to do it.
I thought they were.
I swear.
They were.
Dude, I swear I thought Sami Zayn was going to, I thought he was going to pull the trigger. I thought he was going to, dude, that would have been so bad. That would have been, man, I cannot stress to you how wrong of a call that would have been. God, that, please, for the love of God, no. Do not ever tease that again. Do not even ever imply that Sami Zayn is going to turn heel on Jey Uso ever again. Because, oh,
That
brother,
would be horrible. That would be so fucking bad. You already have
I
30.
I was so scared going into this segment, bro. That would have been absolutely the wrong call, and I am so glad WWE did not go through with that. Um, it kind of ruined the celebration because the whole time I was just thinking about Sami Zayn just hitting him. So,
Mhm.
it kind of took the celebration aspect out of it, but thankfully they did not do it. Big Jim came out and they all yeeted and celebrated and all was well, but God, was I fucking scared watching it, dude.
Bro, I was scared as fuck. I was thinking the same thing that whole time. I was thinking, dude, KO's out for God knows how long. Maybe they want to do this now. Maybe they, dude, I was terrified that whole segment, and I'm glad they didn't. It ended up being, the simple celebration segment, and from what I was scared was gonna happen, that is a very good thing, man. And like you said, don't tease that Sami Zayn heel turn. Like Logan says in the comments. Face Sammy needs to win needs to win the world title, not a heel, none of that, dude. The way you set Sami Zayn up, he has to have eventually his babyface world title win, and it has to be his babyface, dude. So weird ass fucking what thing to tease. Don't do that again. And the segment was just your simple Jey Uso celebration segment, hitting the yeets and all that, man, and it did feel good. Those are all guys with story and connection I liked. I'm glad they got to celebrate together. I'm just telling you that first part of that segment of the yeets and the pausing for the yeets, and that's gonna be our summer until someone comes along and takes it off of them.
Well, yes, it is, and I don't know who could be Jay's first challenger, but I'm gonna tell you right now, man. Again, do not ever think about turning Sami Zayn heel before he wins a world heavyweight championship. Do not. He needs to win his world title as a babyface, and he needs to be a babyface until then. He is a great babyface. The fans love him. He is not to be turned heel. Please, dear God, no.
Please.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't know who Jay's first challenger could be. I see some pea brains out there, and this is what I was very scared of, actually. I seen some people suggesting Logan Paul.
That sounds miserable. You're telling me you want the two most boring matches on Mania Week? Well, two of them. Well, there's a few contenders in there if I'm being honest, but some of them. You have Logan Paul and you have Jey Uso. That sounds miserable.
Yeah, that does not sound. I'm yawning already. That sounds so bad. So you, if you wanted to throw him a bone, maybe you could do somebody like Karrion Cross,
Like that. That'd be a fun little feud.
or if you wanted to get the championship off of Jay early, you could give him one of two guys we've seen in our main event tonight.
Maybe
Uh,
there's another one. But I think the one is someone he already has history with
hmm.
on Raw that we've seen generally recently that people can think of.
Mm-hmm.
Very good to me.
Definitely. Speaking of Karrion Cross, AJ Styles is in the back. He says losing to Logan Paul was a hard pill to swallow, but he's going to bounce back. Cross walks up to a thunderous pop. Did
Look at
you
that.
see,
Yes.
dude,
Incredible, dude. Man,
to the guy
push
in the
this
truck
fucking
with
guy.
the suit and the tie, go fuck yourself. on a
Wild.
WWE program.
Go fuck yourself. Man hit his CM Punk moment. I love it.
Bro, that story. Okay, so for you guys that don't know, Karrion Kross was on WWE's WrestleMania
Oh,
recap podcast that nobody fucking listens to. And because it's a bunch of it's a bunch
kiss
of
ass
yes,
fuckery.
it's a bunch of listen to how great our show was. Karrion Kross said fuck that.
Fuck that.
And yeah, Karrion Kross literally said to hell with that. And bro, this man fucking went berserk on this WWE WrestleMania podcast. Megan Morant and Sam Roberts are sitting there looking scary as fuck. Scarlett's trying to like calm him down, and he's like, "No, this message is from Killer Cross."
Fucking
And
hell yeah, dude.
dude, he starts talking about how Bill Gold. Okay, this was hilarious. He says Bill Goldberg back in 2021 came up to him and said, "You remind me a lot of me." Karrion Kross says, "I looked at him and I said, Bill, I think we have different styles, but thank you." Uh,
He said, Bill, I can wrestle. Don't
yeah,
do that to me.
yeah. Please don't say that, Bill. But thank you. He says, "Bill, do you have any advice for me?" Mr. Bill tells him, "Just be a good soldier." He says, "You know what being a good soldier got me? It got me released. It got my time cut." And he talked about a bunch of other things. He talked about how the people in the he pitches ideas. They come up to him and they ask him, "You have any ideas?" And he gives ideas and he says, "Oh, no, those ideas are too cool. Those are for the other guys." So he talked about how he pitched fighting Randy, but they went with the viral moment. He says, "Good on Joe. Nothing against him." But they passed up a viral moment, and he's talking about, to think all the funerals I passed up for this business, everything I've missed for this business, and it's all for what? And he said something about grabbing the brass ring or something along those lines, and he just starts screaming, "My ass, my ass." Um,
God.
and then he says to the guy in the truck with the suit and tie, "Go fuck yourself." He slams the mic down. Scarlett's trying to like console him, and he's like, "No, that was from fucking Killer Cross."
Hell yeah, dude.
Dude,
Man,
push this
look,
guy.
push this fucking guy, man. He is great. He can wrestle. He looks cool. He talks cool. And he has a cool ass, great creative mind. Push this man, please.
Oh,
Please.
that's what it was. He said they told him, "Make yourself undeniable." He said, "My ass, I have."
Yeah, he literally has. Man,
I
fire.
honestly think
Amazing.
I honestly think he's in his 2011 CM Punk era,
Mhm.
where Punk was coming up on the final months of his contract, and he just said, "Fuck it. I'm
He's
gonna
gonna
do
go
whatever I
crazy.
want. And if they don't want to
Yeah.
keep me, then they'll let me go. And if not,
Mhm.
then I will have made myself so undeniable
They kept me.
that they'll keep me and I'll be a fucking star." Not saying he's gonna fucking end up like CM Punk, but
Yeah.
he's at least giving
But
it a fucking shot.
he's fucking 20. What was that? 2018 Drew McIntyre coming back on the main roster, fired up, all the fucking fire in the world, dude. Love it, dude. Fucking love it.
Dude, this guy is fucking great. And he got a huge reaction. They didn't even put him on the show. They put him in a backstage. Well, they put him on. They didn't even put him in
Yeah,
front of the
in the
live crowd.
aggregate.
They put him on a backstage segment. And this man got a pop like a motherfucker. I mean, dude, push this guy. And I honestly think he's in that fuck it stage right now.
I think he
I,
is. He's
he's
saying, "I'm gonna just do what I feel like I can do, and I feel like that'll people will like, and if it gets me liked, they'll keep me." and if not, I'll have the momentum to go somewhere else.
They cannot let him go.
Or they can't. You
They,
cannot let him go. You gotta keep him.
this dude is a solo act with Scarlett is money. He's
That
fucking
shit is
money.
fire. Mm-hmm.
Logan just says it right here. He could be a great candidate for Money in the Bank.
I would like that. I would love that. He'd be a great dude. The way he can be like so in the background and creepy and
Yes.
just alluding to things. Imagine that, but with the Money in the Bank briefcase, that would be so perfect, dude. I would fuck with that heavy.
This guy is great, man. This guy is great. And this is to think this is his best run in WWE, and he does not even have the support of the company right now, is
Nope.
crazy. Because if you remember his NXT run, when you talk about
Yeah,
company
awesome.
support, this
Yeah,
man, they gave him everything. They gave him his wife to be his manager, right? They gave him the entrance, the production, the glitz, the glamour, the smoke, the mirrors. They gave him everything. Yet
he,
this is his best work with the company. That's scary. Could you imagine if the
it's
company gets behind this?
literally, it could be insane because when WWE wants you to be big, you can be big. He made himself big. Imagine if they actually put that effort too. He could be insane, dude. He was literally, I think at the time, he was the fastest debut to NXT champion. We got up to that point.
I'm pretty
That's
sure.
how behind they were at the time. And now look at them. Now they threw him to the side and he made himself undeniable.
Get behind it, Triple H. You're fucking up so hard if you pass up on this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously, man.
Fucking up royally if they do not fucking sign him. If they do not re-sign him and push him.
And if I'm Cross, I'm asking for that Drew McIntyre level of creative
Yeah,
because what he's been given is bullshit. He's been
yeah,
back in
yeah.
the company since 2022. He's been in the company 3 years. He trotted around with a faction that was holding him down, and he's out of the faction now, and the guys are gone. It's time for him to boss the fuck up, and it's time for the company to get behind him because he is that damn good, and he is showing you he's that damn
Yeah.
good.
Literally, dude.
Dude, they got a huge fucking star on their hands, man, and they cannot fuck this up.
They cannot. They literally can't.
So, Karrion Kross walks up and he gets a huge pop. He says, "No, there is no bouncing back. You getting pinned by Logan Paul." Or he says, "You got pinned by Logan Paul. You are the best of us, and you lost," which legitimizes him. AJ says, "You just said it. I'm the best of us. I don't want to go back. What is with you and wanting to see the person from a year ago? For some reason. I don't know why. I hated that man. Every day I looked in the mirror. You don't understand. You want to be angry at the world? Great. Don't take me down with you. In fact, why don't you solve that problem yourself?" And Karrion Kross, in typical Karrion Kross fashion, he smiles and he says, "Maybe I will."
Dude, he has it all, dude.
He
He,
has
he
it
can
all, bro.
talk. He can be funny when it needs to, dude. He is literally a future. He is a main event caliber guy. He has every tool. Please let him use those tools.
Yet they position Damian Priest at the top of the card. And we have a fucking guy like Karrion Kross walking around having to fucking cut pipe bombs on a goddamn post show to fucking get noticed.
Literally, dude. And they're using bum ass Damian Priest, dude. Come on.
Come on, man. Fucking Damian Priest. Well, anyway, so that was that. We go to a Netflix ad break and we come back. And Gunther is yelling at Michael Cole and Pat McAfee. He's out there yelling at Pat and Cole. He gets in Michael Cole's face. Pat's trying to get in between the two, and he pushes Pat down. He then grabs Michael Cole to put him in a sleeper. McAfee runs up to Gunther and punches him right in the face. He goes to walk away after a bunch of officials come out, and Gunther runs up behind Pat and chokes Pat out. He choked
the fuck out.
Dude, he choked him out. I thought a bunch of fans hopped the barricade. It was a bunch of Pat's buddies.
I think security thought that too, because security was like wrangling those guys, and I was like, dude, are a bunch of fans jumping the fucking barricade right now?
I was like,
and then
damn.
the more I looked at them, the more I like, those seem like some football type players, and then it kind of clicked me just by looking at them that they're Pat's friends.
Yeah.
And I was like, bro, let them through. Were you not told they were going to jump the barricade for this segment?
Yeah. So they so Pat gets choked out by Gunther in what was, I thought, a really cool angle. There's two ways they can go about this. They can use this to move Gunther to SmackDown and get him away from Cole and McAfee. Or what they can do is they can use this as a way for Gunther to, I guess, be feared by the commentators, just so maybe he comes off a little better on commentary. Just to, I don't know, maybe keep a little bit of his aura intact. Unless they actually want to go the route of a Pat McAfee and Gunther match, I don't really care too much to see that. That sounds like a Saudi show if I ever heard one, but I don't think we're getting one of those this year. So that was the only two things I could think of, because a lot of times, we see, Gunther, he's in the ring, and the commentators are kind of, they kind of make fun of him, or they kind of not make fun of him, but they like, they're actively cheer for the other person. Maybe this is what they're going to do to just maybe make the commentators fear him, just so he has, more aura, even though I would say he has a fair amount of aura, but maybe that was a way of doing this. Either that, or this is their way to move Gunther to SmackDown to get him away from Cole and McAfee.
I think so. I think that could definitely be a path of, them getting him off of Raw and moving him over, because he's been IC champ, he's been world champ, he's kind of done everything on Raw.
Let me stop you right there, bro. He tapped out to Jey Uso. You have to leave, bro.
Exactly, and that's what this also felt like. You mentioned, trying to get his aura back. This was aura damage control. It is what this was, man, and I did like it. I love the vibe of this. I love how legit it felt, and fucking Michael Cole is a beast, dude. And I like what they did here. I like how, he came out and just choked a motherfucker out, and was trying to choke another motherfucker out, and choked the shit out of Pat McAfee out, and I liked it. I like how they literally had to drag him off of him and kick him out the arena, and I like that a lot, dude. I did like the segment a lot. I feel like it is aura damage control for WrestleMania, and I think it is best, like you said, after you get tapped out by Jey Uso, you have to fucking leave the show, and I think it's best. He did already do, mostly everything there is to do for him with the roster there is right now on Raw. So I think moving him to SmackDown with this might be the best way to do it, and I like it. And I literally like what they did here. I love the legit vibe of this. It was just, one thing I really liked about this, I'm sure you're gonna mention it after this, but like, dude, the way they brought like Joe Tess out there in normal ass clothes after this, and like it was an emergency call.
Yeah,
thought that was really fucking cool, dude.
Bro was clearly in catering. He had his fucking sleeves rolled up like he was fucking digging in his salad and his country fried steak. And they were like, hey, Tess, we need you on the call. And he was like, oh shit. He grabbed his blazer and he ran out there.
Literally.
Yeah, man. I mean, again, you got tapped out by Jey Uso, man. That would be like the high school quarterback getting his ass whooped by the kid in chess club. You have to
Mhm.
transfer
You gotta
schools.
leave. You
There's
got
you're not coming back from this. Your stats are going to go down. Your whole aura is ruined. You're done.
Mhm.
You're not the high school quarterback anymore. You're done. You're done. Gunther tapped out to Jey Uso. Man,
Please stop.
I'm sorry, bro, but he fucking tapped out to Jey Uso is the only person on the main roster to have tapped out Gunther.
It's
Gunther
just
tapped.
that's
You got to
evil,
move him.
man. That's
You
evil. You gotta move him.
so if the plan isn't for Drew McIntyre to win the WWE title anymore, maybe you trade Drew for Gunther.
I would like that. And Drew might fit in with a certain set of people on Raw, and I think the way they ended up booking everything around Mania and after Mania, and I think Drew is better to move shows at this point. Move back shows, I should say.
Yeah, and like the for me, if he doesn't win the WWE championship, my thinking is you
What is
can
he
move
doing?
him over there and have him go for the world heavyweight championship. You know,
Exactly.
I think especially we talked about it 2 days ago on the WrestleMania Saturday post, but like you know, if you're not gonna have Drew go for the WWE championship, and now with Owens being injured, do you have do you have Drew be the one to beat Jey Uso and then have Sammy be the one to beat Drew for the championship?
I, I would like that. Maybe if time aligns, maybe that's when KO could come back. That would be really cool.
Yeah. And instead of Sammy taking it from KO, maybe around the time KO comes back, Sammy will be champ, and then you could just do the opposite. You could have KO take
Mhm.
it from Sammy. You know,
Exactly.
that could be a good option as well. Carrying Cross, I think, will be a cool option for Money in the Bank, or to take it from Jay. You can have, maybe a guy like Seth, maybe a guy like Braun.
Mhm.
McIntyre's on the list. Maybe even a Karrion Cross if he does pick up enough steam and get himself that over. Maybe that
Could
could
be
be a good
really cool.
option.
Mhm.
But there's a lot of ways they can go with this. So Adam Pearce is in the back, and they're taking Pat McAfee to the doctor, or to the doctor's room, the trainer's room, and he tells Michael Cole to take the night off. Michael Cole says, "You need to do something about this guy. We should not have to be victims of an assault for having an opinion and doing our job." You know what, Michael Cole? Maybe you should watch the show as a fan and not as a critic.
I'm gonna say maybe you should just commentate the show, watch it, commentate as a commentator,
Yeah,
and not as a critic, man.
exactly. Exactly.
Mhm. In the
That's what
words of your own boss,
they're your own boss, per Paul.
per Paul.
So Pierce says, I know, I'm going to get this handled. I'm going to get this situated. He says, but seriously, take the night off. Cole says, you know what? I am not going to let some bully stop me from doing my job on a WrestleMania week. And he walked back out there, and Joe Tess is out there straight from catering. He was in the back fucking getting ready for the Raw post show. Like I said, he's got his sleeves rolled up to his elbows. He was clearly digging into some catering. And they were like,
Mhm.
"Yo, you got to go." So he grabbed his blazer, he ran out there, he threw his blazer over the announce table, and it looked legit. It looked legit. He came out there, and he looked frantic. He looked like he's like, "Oh
You
shit,"
just call
like,
out there.
fuck, like
Mhm.
they just called me out here. This was a cool angle, and again, if this is your way to get Gunther off of Raw because he
He has
tapped
to.
out to Jey Uso, then we got to get him
Knife
off the
turns
show.
every time. Exactly.
So I liked it. The production behind this, the little details were great.
Most definitely. I really love that.
Next up, the main event match for the show was Dom versus Penta for the Penta for the IC championship. For-
Yeah, I'm gonna miss Ray, dude. God damn it.
Fuck, man. I mean, they got my goat, bruh. Dom versus Penta for the IC championship. Finn Balor is out here with Carlito, and they are, distracting the ref to take the attention off. Dominic's distracting the ref to take the attention off of Pentagon, and he's on the top rope. And JD McDonough, a returning JD McDonough, throws Penta off the top rope. Dominic hits a 619 to beat Penta clean and retain the IC championship. JD's in the ring. He's celebrating with Dom and Carlito. Finn is nowhere to be found. They walk up the ramp, and Finn walks up. JD's trying to get him into it. He daps up with Finn. Finn raises his arms up, and they all sit there and celebrate. What the fuck? Dude, what is it gonna take for Finn Balor to get kicked out of the Judgment Day?
Like, at this point, I think the best thing you could have done tonight with Finn is Finn is he's got to be the baby face going out of this, you would think, and it's got to be Judgment Day kicking him out. So I would think tonight Finn lost, back on Mania, whatever. I would say tonight you finally have Finn be like, you know what, man, I am happy for you. I was jealous before, but I got to be a guy for the team, and I'm happy for you. And that is when they have the group turn on him, and you're still just doing more teases. JD comes back. It's obvious Finn didn't know JD was coming back in this, and he was confused and whatnot and all that, and more of just teasing something you've been teasing for like a year and a half now. Dog, just end it.
Oh my dude. What is it gonna fucking take for Finn Balor to finally say the hell with this shit, get in Dominic's face, and then have the rest of the group be like, you know what, dude? You're too much of a fucking punk. We're kicking you out of the fucking group. I mean, what the fuck? How is tonight not the night you finally kick Finn out of the Judgment Day? Or again, like Sir K said, that's another great option. How do you not have Finn come out here and say, you know what, Dominic? I don't even know what to say anymore. All I could do, I'm happy for you, man. And then have them be like, well, thanks, man, but there's a problem. We're done with you. Boom. Kick him out.
Oh, easy, simple.
What the fuck?
Like, dude, you're doing more and more teases.
Hunter says, don't worry, Johnny. We'll get it. He'll get kicked out at SummerSlam. At this fucking point, he's probably gonna kicked out. He's probably gonna get kicked out the night after WrestleMania fucking next year.
In fucking WrestleMania 45, he finally gets fucking kicked out of a goddamn group, dude. I mean, what the fuck? This man had this turn has been teased since Seth was world champ, since Priest was world champ. Dog, just fucking do it, please. Oh my god.
Oh, I mean,
Triple
what
H.
the fuck?
This isn't Roman Reigns here. Like, just do it, please.
What the fuck are you waiting for, dude? I seriously question this. Why was he not kicked out of this group tonight?
Literally, you had the easiest way out, dude. Easiest way out to do it.
The little brother of the Judgment Day, the guy that one of the guys Finn literally watched join the group, pinned him to win a championship. That means everybody in the Judgment Day has won from the OG Judgment Day has won a singles title before Finn Balor has.
Yep.
Since they've been in the Judgment Day. Since the Judgment Day has been formed, everybody from the OG Judgment Day group has won singles gold before Finn, and he watched Dominic do it yesterday by pinning him. What the fuck is it gonna take for him to fucking finally get kicked out?
What? Like, what is... I don't understand. I don't understand what there is more to do than to get kicked out. I really don't.
This was so upsetting. This was fucking... Man... what the fuck, dude? I mean, really? What are we waiting for, man? Finn Balor. I predicted Finn Balor to get kicked out of the Judgment Day the first Raw on Netflix. They were building to it so heavy, building up to that show. And then they had finally lost the tag titles of the War Raiders. And then the whole storyline with Dominic came, and I said, okay, well, no ifs, ands, or buts. It's the night after WrestleMania for sure. And all we get is more fucking teasing. What the hell? Oh, brother.
Good Lord, man. Fucking hell. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know, dude.
I really don't.
At this point, they might actually wait till SummerSlam, because that will be the 1-year anniversary of when Priest was kicked out of the group and when Finn turned on Priest. So they might do the opposite one. At this point, I wouldn't doubt it. We probably got to do another 4 months of the Street Trash Judgment Day, just so it can mirror what happened to Damian Priest last year at this fucking point.
And my suffering. And Finn Balor's suffering, please.
When are we going to get this singles Finn push?
I gotta wait 2 years.
Damn near, bro. So, yeah, that was that. Dominic retains, and Finn Balor is still in the Judgment Day. And a move that absolutely nobody wanted to see.
Literally.
And to close the show, Seth fucking Rollins.
One thing about Seth, bro, is freaking just back in his name?
I don't know if Paul Heyman says that just for it to sound menacing. You know?
I think it was on his nameplate at WrestleMania still. Like, that's the thing I noticed this weekend is he still officially said, did you just not get rid of it? Okay, but we'll move on from that.
Let me look at the roster page here. Let's see. Okay, well, there's an article. First thing on the top of the thing, it says Seth Rollins. So let me go down to his actual superstar profile. Let me see if they added it back.
Man, they got fucking so many employees.
He's just Seth Rollins.
Okay.
So
I noticed that on Mania, it was still in his nameplate, and I was just tripping out about it.
I mean, he is Seth freaking Rollins. So Seth Rollins comes out with Paul Heyman, who Mark Nash called the Wise Man. Did you not watch WrestleMania, bro? He's not the
Seth
Wise Man.
literally said in this promo that he was the okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Seth Rollins grabs the mic and he says he's a visionary. He took a wise man from Roman Reigns. He stole CM Punk's best friend. I am the winner of the main event of WrestleMania. I am... And then CM Punk's music hits. And Punk is wrapping his fist. He's running to the ring. Punk gets in the ring and starts, as Excalibur would say, teeing off
Get off.
on Seth Rollins. He ends up whooping Seth Rollins' ass in the corner. He turns around and he walks right up to Paul Heyman and he shoves him in the corner of the ring. Rollins runs up and starts gouging CM Punk's eyes out. CM Punk screaming out in pain, and he hits CM Punk with a stomp. In this moment, I commend WWE because this is how you do the unpredictable runtime. These motherfuckers flash up the, State of Nevada logo, executive producers, Lee Fitting, Paul Levesque, Tony Khan, whatever, whoever's name it says on there. They play that, and I'm sitting there thinking, this is your end of the Raw after WrestleMania?
Dude, I was literally, I was like, bro, there's no way. You don't elaborate on anything with that. I was like, there's no way.
I'm like, this is what they give us? A eye gouge and a stomp to CM Punk? And I'm sitting there like, did Roman go home after the show? Did he actually fly back to wherever he lives? And I'm sitting there like, you've got to be kidding me. And then, and this is what's so perfect about, this is how you do it, bro. This is how you do it. You make people think there's going to be some piss poor shit ending, and then you give them more. Because I'm sitting there, and I was ready. I was so ready. I was ready to run over here and pounce all over my fucking on button for my computer. Because I was just like, you got to be kidding me. And then we hear the music of Roman Reigns. And I was like, okay, now things got a lot more interesting. So, the OTC runs down to the ring, and was there a... Okay, my bad. There was a whole promo. I completely forgot about it. Okay, my bad. I was starstruck by the end of it. Paul Heyman grabs the mic as this happens, and he says, we are going to conclude the weekend of WrestleMania 41, profiling the news all the way to WrestleMania 42. This is a new, there is a new reigning, defending, undisputed #1 top star in this entire industry. Ladies and gentlemen, Seth freaking Rollins. Then that's when we get the executive producer thing. Roman Reigns' music hits. He runs down to the ring, spears Seth Rollins. Paul Heyman's looking starstruck that his boy just got handled by the OTC. And Roman then Superman punches Paul Heyman right in the face. He backs up into the corner. He does his taunt before his spear, his ooh-ah. And he goes to run at Paul Heyman and gets the shit speared out of him by Braun Breaker.
They fucking did it, man. They did it. Oh, dude. The Triple H, I gotta give him a fuck ton of shit, man, but he fucking did it. He finally did. He did something where it wasn't teased for fucking 2 years. People wanted it, and he just gave it to us. It's really nice to get that.
Wow. That is how you fucking end the show.
Oh,
that was fucking awesome. Man. He takes his hoodie off, and obviously it's him, and the crowd goes nuts. Now, at this moment, Seth is looking shocked like he doesn't know what just happened. Heyman is looking shocked. He walks up to Braun and he hugs him and starts fucking laughing because they knew the entire time what was going to
Mhm.
happen. And Braun gets out of the ring and, or actually before this, he's looking at Rollins and he runs at Seth Rollins, but he runs past Seth Rollins and he spears CM Punk. This was where Rollins then hugged him and
Mhm.
starts laughing. He gets on the outside of the ring and runs all the way around and spears Roman Reigns through the barricade of the timekeeper area as Paul Heyman, Seth Rollins, and Braun Breaker leave CM Punk and Roman Reigns beat to oblivion.
Oof.
Holy shit.
Hell fucking yeah, man. I mean, this is the type of shit we need. Moments. Pulling up triggers like this, dude. This is the type of shit I love to see, man. Loved it. Loved the way they set it up with that fucking tease. I was so pissed. And then, Roman came out and the rest of the segment happened and I marked the fuck out when Braun Breaker showed up, man. Yeah, I was literally thinking that exact very thing when Roman was in his ooh-ah. I was like, dude, you spear Braun Breaker, spear right there. I was thinking that, and it fucking happened, dude.
Dude.
I was marking, dude. I was fucking
So
marking out.
in
Mm-hmm.
in that moment, I said, dude, we haven't seen Braun all night. Something's gonna
Mm-hmm.
happen. Cause I'm sitting there and I was like, we haven't seen Braun all night. And I know Roman is not hitting this spear on Paul Heyman. And then
No.
sure enough, as soon as he took off, we just see Roman get decked. And you could tell instantly. And I was like,
Yeah.
no fucking shit. They did it.
Loved it. They fucking did it. See, look how good it looks when you just fucking finally pull the trigger on
Yeah,
something.
when people show
Just
up and you pull the trigger, look what can
look at
happen.
that. Look what can happen, dude. Love it. I love what they're building with this, man. Um, and I really like the vibe of this, man. It's not just Paul Heyman and Seth.
Yeah.
It's something bigger. It's a group. It's the future. It's people. It's Seth getting a group of guys who he thinks could and should be the future of WWE. He doesn't like Punk. He doesn't like Roman. He probably doesn't like Jay, for his ties to Roman and then that history all there. So he's going to get a group of guys who he feels like it should and could be the future of this company. Braun Breaker, number one on that list, dude. Yeah, and Braun, his history with Heyman. Fucking perfect, man. Love the way they set this up and love that surprise, dude. That is a surprise, dude. Look what happened when you just fucking surprise people like that. Fucking love it, dude. Love the hell out of that.
That was awesome. The first thing I could think is Evolution. It reminds me
Mm-hmm.
of Evolution with Rollins being the Triple H in it.
Yep.
And,
Literally the
you know,
architect.
I know Ric Flair wasn't their manager, but Ric Flair was the older guy that had
No.
all the wisdom, and that is Paul
The
Heyman.
cool. Mm-hmm.
And Braun Breaker is kind of like the Batista. So,
Mm-hmm.
who is Randy Orton?
That's even if
Well,
there is the evolution ties, but there could also be more traditional faction S ties. And I'll tell you why.
okay, let's hear it.
Well, at about 10:36, um, there was a post of someone on the roster, a picture of him and Seth, and it was someone who, you would think would have just got written off that where we thought we would have seen them earlier tonight, and we didn't in a
Okay.
certain setting. Nathan Frazier posted a picture with him and Seth,
Hmm.
um, and maybe instead of like an evolution as group where it's another main event singles guy, maybe they're gonna add a tag team and Axiom just lost their NXT tag titles. Maybe, obviously, Seth would see them as future guys in the company, and he has ties to them. I would actually love that. And from the reaction I'm looking at right now in the comments to that, that's what people want too. People, all the comments are like with Axiom, right? Saying how cool this would be. I would fuck with that heavy.
The only thing is, do you take the mask off of Axiom if you put them in that group? Because
I probably would.
I was gonna say I feel uh the only thing with that is I feel Axiom with a mask would maybe make the group look a little odd, but
Yeah,
they're so good of a tag team. If you did want to take the mask off of him, I think you could do that
I think you can. I really think you can.
and have Fraxium be the tag team of all that. But you could. You could very well do that. I seen a couple other people throwing around Carmelo Hayes' name.
I
Um,
like that.
but the thing is, are you guys talking about the guy from Mellow Don't Miz? Because I think he's got a more I
Please
think he
don't.
has a better career path going down right now. I mean, he is in the greatest tag team in professional wrestling today.
Uh, they- Mellow don't miss.
Mellow, yeah,
Good
they
lord.
don't miss. Yeah, definitely not. But that's the thing. Yeah, I mean, I feel Axiom would maybe throw the look of that off a little bit if you. But
Yeah.
then again, like I said, he's not necessarily. He could probably take the mask off and get away with it now because he's established and everybody loves
Hmm.
Fraxium. You could do that,
Hmm.
but if you, personally, me, I would maybe go with. I would maybe go with more of the evolution style. I would
Okay.
maybe look towards somebody who somebody who is younger and could fit in that
Mhm.
Randy Orton-esque role. What about like Trick Williams when he's ready? Or what about Carmelo Hayes? I think that could be
Mhm.
another good option. You can look at I don't know if they would really
Mm.
want to do something like this, but Dragunov. Maybe they add Bronson Reed to that group.
Bronson Reed. He could be really good with that. He could.
Maybe Seth
Mm.
respects Bronson Reed because he tried to take him out to get to the top of his business. Maybe Seth
Yeah.
maybe Seth sees that as somebody that wants to be the future of the company and respects that. Maybe Ethan Page. Ethan
Ricky
Page could
Steam's
Ricky would be another good option. Um but there's a lot of names you could do there. There's a lot of
Mhm.
names you could do there, but the list can go on and on all night, man, and they have so many options they can go down, and this this is why you pull the trigger on things, because
Exactly.
this here created a fucking epic formation of a faction and an epic moment. You laid out two of the biggest stars this business has to offer for this new group. And it all makes sense what Seth Rollins was saying. He needs to win this match to solidify the future of this company. And I think he could
This is what he
be,
meant.
yes, and this is what he meant. He is getting together a group of guys that are the future of this company.
Mhm. Love it, dude. Love what this sets up. Love all the possibilities it sets up, and loved everything about this, man.
This was fantastic. This was an amazing ending to Monday Night Raw. I loved every bit of this. And
Dude,
yeah,
I just thought about it. Imagine Adam Cole if he was still in the company, dude. He he'd
he
been
would be in this
perfect in that
group.
fucking
God
spot.
fucking
He
damn
would
it.
be he would 100% be in this.
Uh,
Oh man. Oh well, it was a great segment. I'll tell you that.
it was awesome.
It
It
was
was
truly
awesome.
great.
Um, yes, there is a lot they can do with this, and I'm excited for next week, bro. I am fucking
Hey,
pumped for next week. I'm excited to see what they do What are their goals? Who do they want to go after? What are their aspirations? This is fucking awesome. And I love every bit of this. This was such an amazing way to end your Raw after WrestleMania. And this is what I love to do. I love sitting here talking about possibilities with storylines and where things can go and all that type of thing. And just sitting here discussing who could possibly join this group. How could this be the best that it possibly can? This is what I love. This is what I love most about what we do. And this here tonight was fucking incredible. This made a statement. You obviously,
Truly.
like I said, you laid out two of the company's biggest stars, and this instantly creates intrigue for next week's Monday Night Raw times 10 with what you did here.
Oh, yeah. Loved it. Loved this incredibly, man.
This is awesome, man. This is awesome. And there's obviously a lot of ways they can go with this. Like we said, you can add a tag team. You can add your Randy Orton type guy to the group. There's so much you could do here. There is so much you could do here. And I cannot wait to see what they do with it, man. So, yeah, I would assume Cena would stay separate from them.
I think they yeah.
You know, he's supposed to be in a group with a bunch of faction mates that don't want to show up. So he's basically just a solo act. He is a faction act that got left to the wolves because everything's more important to The Rock. So
Exactly.
yeah, there's that. But this was fucking awesome, man. This was awesome, and I loved every bit of this. This was tremendous. This was a great way to end Monday Night Raw in what was overall a decent episode of the Raw after Mania, man. I thought they did a pretty good job. Like I said, minus a few other things that we already went over here tonight. I thought that I thought it delivered for sure.
I definitely would say it delivered.
Yeah, so with all of that, that is going to do it for your Raw after WrestleMania 41 episode of Unscripted. This has been episode 244 of Unscripted here today. And with all of that, thank you guys so very much for joining us here today on this edition of Unscripted. And it has been always a pleasure for my Johnny.
And I, Sir K.
And that is going to do it here today for this edition of Unscripted. Thank you guys, everybody who came out, man. Hunter, Rainmaker, Manager Logan, thank you guys so very much. Durante, Gotti, thank you guys so very much for joining us here today. And with all of that, that is going to do it for this edition of Unscripted. And with that being said, thank you guys so much for a tremendous 4-day stretch. This has been an amazing 4 days of streams, man. Thank you guys so much for the weekend.
Truly, thank you guys.
And with that, that is going to do it. Thank you guys so very much for joining us here today. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you all on Friday at 3 p.m. Central with the news.
Peace.